What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Tuesday, July 9th edition, and we are back with another video for you. Welcome every single new person that has subscribed since basically the 4th of July. It's been awesome. The uptick has been awesome. Welcome back to everybody who's been with us for the entire season. We've been killing it. We are less than 400 away from 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Once we hit that 10,000 mark, we are going to give away one $500 lifetime pass. Very excited to get there. Hopefully we can get there before the beginning of the NFL season, which I think we can. It's 2 months away. So I know we can hit it. Hopefully we get it very soon. So congratulations to everyone who dominated over the weekend. I saw a lot of things in the Discord. I've been tweeted at, DM'd. It's been awesome. So if you're new to the channel, we do things differently. You've already seen the length of the videos, probably longer than what you're used to. So if you want an abbreviated version, the link in the description to today's article will give you about 5 plays at each position. Now, to help out the channel, obviously watching the ads, clicking on the ads here, that helps. It's completely free. They're annoying, but it helps out the channel. Other ways, we have merch that are down below as well. You can check out the merch. You can get a sticker, get a shirt, whatever you want. Helps out the channel. You can always donate or tip us. If you want to know how to do that, hit me up and DM me in Discord, and we can do that as well. But the difference between us and other DFS providers or channels or anything like that, other than I'm the only one doing anything on this, like the website, me, the sports, everything, that's just me, nobody else. But we break down every single game. So we have 2 slates today. We have, I believe, 4 games early and then 11 games main. So we do have that. We're going to go through all of the pitching, all of the hitting. But we do have 2 giveaways every day, the days I don't forget. The first way to do it, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment on this video. Preferably a positive comment, but any comment works. And you have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus if we get to at least 50 likes. 100 likes on this video, a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a chance at a free year. 200 or more likes, a chance at a lifetime pass. Now with that, we've never given away a lifetime pass yet. Although we have given away a free year, multiple free years. So all you got to do, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. The second way, somewhere in this video, I will have a keyword. Hopefully I don't forget it like I did the other day, but I will say a keyword somewhere. All you got to do is type that keyword and you have a second chance the same day. So we've never had someone win both of them in the same day, but we've had multiple people win multiple days in a row, multiple weeks in a row. So you can win all the way up until you win a lifetime pass. And there are multiple ways. But we are going to roll this. We're going to roll the first 2. So because yesterday's video got a minimum of 50 likes, we're going to give away a pass to whoever this lands on. Unless they have a lifetime pass and they can let me know. Even if the keyword is in here, we're still going to re-roll it to get the keyword. So let's see who the first winner is for just getting 50 likes. Debonair 3838. The keyword was freedom for yesterday, but we are only using this because we got a minimum of 50 likes. So now, Debonair, all you got to do is like the video, be a subscriber. Just let me know that you saw this, and then email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp1@gmail.com. If you already have a username on the website, let me know that. If you need a username, let me know what you would like and your email, and we'll get you set up for your free pass. Now we're going to re-roll this, and maybe we'll even see the same comment win. Never had it before. Maybe it will happen here. Steve Wilson 6733, congratulations. You did use the word freedom, which was the keyword yesterday. So email me and let me know if you have a website or a name on the website, and we will get you set up. And that's how easy it is, everybody. Every single day, 2 giveaways. Those are both of them. 2 different people. So let's go. So, like I said, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is the website. In the description of this video, you can find the article. But under the MLB tab, we have projections, simulations, Vegas odds. We have everything you see on the screen. At the end of this video, we're going to do the Pitches Be Crazy, which is where we go over the top 5 pitchers on the slate for the day who have the best matchups against teams that strike out the most. And then at the very end, we're going to give you the top 10 bats after 10,000 simulations. So we do 20,000 simulations a day, but we're going to give you the top 10 bats after 10, and then we're going to give you all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating as well. So if you want to check that out, wait till the end of the video or check out the chapters in this video here, and then go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. I am working to gamify this website. So I'm in the background. People who log in daily, who do tasks on the website daily, you're going to accrue points. And with those points, after so many points, you're going to be able to trade those points in for either a week pass, a monthly pass, a yearly pass, or a lifetime pass. So kind of looking how to do that. I'm trying to figure it all out. It's all WordPress, so kind of what I'm looking at. So hopefully we can get that rolling by the start of the NFL season, and hopefully you guys stick around. Because again, like I said, I'm the only one on this website. I do everything. I do the videos. I do the production. I do everything that you see on here, all of the sports that we do. So it's big shout out, help out small business, whatever you want to say. It helps me out as well. So if you are new to the channel and you are subscribing, and then let's say you don't see a video in a couple of days from me, we're expecting our child next week, the 18th, but it literally, I guess, can happen anytime between now and the 18th. The 18th is just the absolute cutoff, and that's the day. So if you do subscribe and I don't have any content for you for a few days, I will get back to you, and we will add whatever days I missed to the end of your subscription if you sign up for FTA Plus. So that being said, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. It could be tomorrow. It could be today. I don't know. But yeah, so bear with me with that. Again, I'm the only one working, so it's not like I can be like, yeah, I'm having a baby. Hey, Tom, can you do the stuff on the website? I don't have a Tom. So that being said, we're going to dig in. We're going to look at this slate. We're going to break it down for you, game by game, brick by brick. So we are looking at this first little early slate here. We've got 4 games. Do have a little bit of weather concern that we got to look at for LA and Philly. Kind of paying attention to this. Again, depending on when you watch this video, maybe the weather has already changed and we can play along with this. But I wanted to bring this out here, and I wanted to talk about that and get every game out. So we are waiting on the Cubs to actually announce it's going to be Taillon, which it should be unless they skip his time in the rotation. This is his day versus Dean Kramer going on. So we look at that, and that's the first game I want to look at. So we are going to go on the assumption it is Taillon going up against Baltimore. Now we know that Baltimore is a very good hitting team. They're one of the best teams in the MLB right now outside of Philly, and they can hit. Splits-wise, he has not faced Baltimore this year. He obviously has seen them in the past, well, some of them in the past, with him pitching for the Yankees a couple years ago and for a few seasons. We look at this, his away ERA just a little bit worse at 3.09, averaging 11.6. Coming off a good game against Philly is the thing. So he had a tough matchup against Philly. They won 10-2, gave up 2 earned runs, went 7 innings deep into that game, 7 strikeouts. So he's been able to hold certain teams down, which I do not mind at all. I think that is fantastic for him. He's a cheap $7,300 option as long as it is him. Now, obviously, if it's not, we kind of got to pay attention to this. But we look at this ballpark. The wind, as of right now with ballpark factors, so we have all the ballpark factors. We have projected home runs. We link those in the description in the Discord. So in the Discord, we have an MLB channel where I'll throw out ballpark factors. So for instance, right now they have a 13% chance to hit home runs. It's hot and humid there, and the ball is flying out, or the wind is blowing out to left center. So we look at all of that, and a lot of things can happen here. So we want to see that, but Taillon for tournaments, I do not mind. But if you guys want to break it down, you want to see the matchups here, which bats make sense. If you don't believe Taillon's going to have a good game, it's literally anyone in this Baltimore team. It does not matter. So it's either between Taillon or Amanaga. So I'm trying to see when Amanaga pitched last, because I'm getting conflicting reports. Game log, the 3rd. Okay. So it could be him. It's either Amanaga or Taillon. If it's Taillon, it changes a little bit because we know it's got 3.17 ERA, so he's been up and down a little bit lately. His price scares me a little bit. If it is Taillon, I'm okay with that. If it's Amanaga, I I would look at pretty much, it doesn't matter if you think either of those pitchers are going to struggle against this great Baltimore team. We're looking at Baltimore bats here for a stack. So the 3 to 5 batters that we like, Adley Rutschman, obviously Gunnar Henderson, lefty-righty matchup, I do not mind. Probably looking at Ryan Mountcastle batting 290 with 4 bombs against lefties. Also looking at Austin Hayes batting 364 against lefties as well. Now, if it is Tyon, I still like those batters. Anthony Santander, there's just so many great bats for this. The Orioles, that tournaments, I'm okay with these Cubs pitching. Cash, though, I'm not. I would look at Baltimore. But then if we think Dean Kramer's not going to have a good game, and we think, hey, I want to stack the Cubs a little bit, the ones I would look at, David Bodie, only 13 at-bats against right-handed pitching, but batting 385. You've got Michael Busch with 10 home runs, 253 batting average, which is not bad. I guess the average MLB batting average this year is like 242, which is the lowest it's been since like 1983 or something, or the lowest it's ever been, I guess. The average overall is only 242. So anything above that's above league average, which seems wild to me, but it's boomer bust type games that we see with these hitters. Other bats for the Cubs, maybe Chris Morel's got 11 bombs. I think he does have a home run against Dean Kramer in his career. He does. So that's kind of the bats that I would look at. Maybe Cody Bellinger a little bit. Pete Crow Armstrong, I'm okay with that as well. But we kind of look at that, and obviously I give the advantage to Baltimore. They're obviously a better team than the Cubs, but that's kind of where I'm at in this game right here. So we move on to the next game. We've got the Guardians at the Tigers. You got Ben Lively versus Kenta Maeda. Now, Maeda, I don't think we've used. He's the lowest priced guy at $5,000. He's going up against Cleveland, which he's already faced them once this year. Only lasted 2 innings, give up 7 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 K. I want nothing to do with Maeda. I will take the Guardians bats here, and I will not feel bad about it. I won't overthink it. That is where I would go there. So Cleveland bats that have had success against him. Bo Naylor's got a home run against him. Jose Ramirez has a home run against him. Josh Naylor has a home run against him. Those 3 I would look at. I'm also getting in Stephen Kwan. I'm also getting in Andres Jimenez as well. Maybe a little bit of David Fry. It depends on which lineup comes out. But J-Ram, Josh Naylor, and Bo Naylor and Stephen Kwan are my main 4 that I will have in any stack that I do with Cleveland. Then we got Ben Lively. So I want nothing to do with Maeda at all. We've got Ben Lively, who's here at second priced highest guy at $8,200. Splits-wise, he has not faced Detroit this year. Pitching on the road, he's a little bit worse on the road. Game log-wise, he's done okay. With pricing, we're looking for at least 2.5 times value. So 8,200 times 2.5. He's not really hit that enough with his fantasy points per game. His away splits are a little bit different than maybe what we would enjoy. But we look at this, and Lively for tournaments, I'm okay with. But if you want to go with batters here against the Tigers, Colt Keith would be probably my number 1. Number 2 would be Gio Urshela batting 274 against right-handed pitching. Riley Green batting 287 with 13 bombs and 240 plus at bats. Those would be my main 3. There's not really other ones that I trust enough if I were to stack. So I will have some exposure to Ben Lively. I will have a lot of exposure to the Cleveland Guardians as a stack here, especially with 4 games. Now 2 of them have weather concerns. This is one of those games that has weather concern. Then we got the Dodgers at the Phillies. We've got Bobby Miller versus Zach Wheeler. Wheeler's the most expensive. Splits-wise, he has not faced the Dodgers this year. We know that Wheeler's one of the best pitchers this year so far. Weather should be good. Game logs, kind of a couple of straight games in a row that he hasn't done well. 7 Ks against the Cubs, 2 walks, only went 6 innings, 18.7. At his price is not enough. When you're paying up $9,500, you need at least basically 20 points. And that's kind of what we're looking for, is need at least 20 plus points out of him. And he's averaging that, 21.5. The Dodgers obviously are a good hitting team. On paper, they are fantastic, but they have been hit hard against and not put up a ton of runs a few times. So then we look at the Dodgers. Bobby Miller coming in, not faced Philly this year. Game log wise, has not done much. I'm probably not using Bobby Miller. I would probably use Philly bats here. None have like a ton of success, no home runs. But if we look at this, Alec Boehm against right-handed pitching, 313 batting average, 7 bombs. You've got Bryson Stott I would use. You got Brandon Marsh with 7 bombs, batting almost 300 against right-handed pitching. Those would be the ones I'd use. You want a cheap option to fill out a Philly stack. Maybe Cody Clemens gets in there. He could be a cheap, I think he's first base outfield eligible for Philly. You could look at him. You could look at Rojas a little bit. I don't know if I would use Rojas much, but I don't want Miller. I will have Wheeler, and I will have the bats for Philly. Dodgers bats scare me a little bit because it is Wheeler. But again, anytime we've been paying up for a high-priced guy lately, it seems like it's not been the best odds. So I'll have a little bit of Wheeler, but again, we have to remember the Dodgers are a fantastic hitting team. They could go off at any time. So Wheeler might be only tournament pick for me, but I will have a little bit of Wheeler here for sure. Then we got the Yankees, who lost a series to the Red Sox. I think they've lost every series since the one in June to Kansas City. We got Rodon versus Ryan Pepiot. So we look at Carlos Rodon. Started off the season very strong. He had a good start against Cincy, 5.1 innings, 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. They did lose that game. They got swept because the Yankees could not give him any run support. That is a decent outing there. 5.1 innings, went into the 6th inning. I don't know the whole situation. Went up to 95 pitches, but had 8 strikeouts and only 3 earned runs. Had he got 2 more outs, that would have been a quality start. His starts lately, ever since the Kansas City one, have been a little bit lower. Tampa Bay, though, they are a kind of a bad team. Not kind of, they are a bad team. So if we look at Tampa Bay, just like strikeout-wise, Tampa Bay strikes out 6th most out of any team, striking out 8.99 times per game, and striking out 8.58 at home this year. So Rodon's got the strikeout ability, 8.8373, so the strikeouts were a little bit lower in Kansas City, but Tampa Bay is not a very good offensive team here. Then you got Pepiot on the other hand. Splits-wise, he has not faced the Yankees this year. Coming off a bad start here. He's not going deep into games. 4 innings there, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, no strikeouts. Didn't strike anybody out. But this would be one where he turns it around and strikes out a ton because the Yankees like to strike out. But I would look at the Yankees here. Ben Rice, as long as he's leading off. I know I saw someone in the comments on Sunday's video, I think, or Saturday's video. Or maybe it was in the Discord. I can't remember. It said, thanks for turning me on to Ben Rice. I had 30 times my money today. Or Saturday, whatever the comment was, which was awesome. Obviously, you're not going to predict 3 home runs. But as long as Ben Rice is up there at the top of the order, I love that. I love him. I would take Juan Soto, Aaron Judge. Then it depends. Honestly, the rest of the team. I mean, DJ LeMahieu on Saturday had a pretty good game. Glaber might still be out again. You got Oswaldo Cabrera. I don't mind a Yankee stack. It'll really just depend on the lineup that comes out. I don't want a Jahmai Jones. I don't really want a... it just depends. I don't really want a Trent Grisham, although he can hit home runs, but his batting's not ideal either. So that's kind of what I would look at. I would definitely look at the Yankees as a stack. I don't trust Tampa Bay enough. If you do want to go with Tampa Bay bats, that's okay, but I'm personally not going to go with Tampa Bay bats. So that's the early slate. The early slate is done. We got 4 games we went over. Now we've got 11, I believe. That's 6. Yeah, 11 games. Do have some weather concern in Cincy. Do have some weather concern in St. Louis. Do have some weather concern in New York, which stinks. There's a ton of weather that might be a factor here. But we're going to go through all the games. So we got the Rockies at the Reds. Cal Quantrill versus Frankie Montas. I would go Montas for tournaments. I'm not looking at Colorado bats outside of Brenton Doyle, Ryan McMahon, Elias Diaz, maybe Charlie Blackmon, but I would rather focus on Cincinnati bats here against Quantrill. I don't trust Quantrill. I want nothing to do with Quantrill. I would look at Jamer Candelario. I would look at Ellie De La Cruz. I would look at Will Benson, only batting .202 against right-handed pitching, but has 8 bombs against them as well. You could look at Jonathan India batting .266 with 5 home runs as well. And then maybe Spencer Steer, .240 batting average against right-handed pitching, but 10 home runs against them as well. So Montas for tournaments, the Reds for a stack. I don't want Colorado as a stack, and I do not want Cal Quantrill at all today. So then we look at this one. This one, there are weather concerns here, so we're definitely looking at this, but Jake Irvin versus Jose Quintana. You've got Jake Irvin, who's been not dominating, but really good this year. 2.80 ERA, splits-wise. He's already faced the Mets once this year, got the W in that one, 8 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, only 1 walk with 8 strikeouts. Now, this game, there is weather concerns, so I'm a little bit scared, but this is at Citi Field, which is a pitcher's park, which I'm okay with, and I'm probably going to have Irvin. I'm not going to have the Mets bats. And then we've got coming in here, where is he? Quintana coming in, 4.22 ERA, splits-wise. He did decent against Washington as well. 7 innings pitched, 3 walks, only 1 strikeout, so that's the problem. And he just faced them his last start in Washington. Didn't do much. 7,400, 13 fantasy points. I'm probably off of him. I honestly don't want anything to do with the offense. I'm probably not. The only thing I would do in this game would be Jake Irvin. I'm not going bats on either side either. So we'll just move on to the next game. So we do have the Athletics at the Red Sox. We've got Joey Estes for Spray and Bayo. So Bayo did have, I think, 8 strikeouts in his last game, but his ERA is up there. Let's see. He struck out 7. So he has a good matchup here. But the problem is he's already faced Oakland once this year. Only lasted 5 innings, 4 earned runs with a 7.20 ERA and 11.7 fantasy points. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with both of these pitchers because both of these teams are in the top 5 that strike out the most. That being said, I would not trust either in cash, and that's the thing. I don't know how comfortable I would be with the bats in this one on either side. If you don't trust either pitcher, you think both of them are going to get lit up, you think the over-unders are going to hit. Shea Langoliers would be one batter that I look at. He's got a home run against Bayo already and has 214 batting average, but 14 home runs against right-handed pitching this year. Second one would be McCann, 84 plate appearances, 298 batting average against righties with 4 home runs. So it'd be a cheap option I don't think very many people will be on at all. JJ Bleday's got 8 bombs with 241 batting average. Brent Rooker would be obviously the number one, 282 batting average with 11 bombs. Now, Brent Rooker's name has been thrown out there for trade suggestions or trade targets. I know we are a month and a half away from the trade deadline, but you could still see some trades here. So definitely pay attention. Obviously, it's not going to be as crucial and big as it will be at the end of August when the trade deadline is there. But anyone can get traded at any time. It's just it doesn't seem to happen much. Those would be the Oakland bats that I'd look at. Boston bats against Estes. No one's faced him before, obviously. But Devers has been on fire, batting .319 against righties with 18 home runs. Definitely one I would look at. I would look at Jarren Duran. I would look at maybe David Hamilton if he starts, for sure. And then Yoshida batting .288 against right-handed pitching. So those would be the ones that I'd look at. I don't trust either of those pitchers in cash. If I'm taking anyone, it's probably Bayo. But I like both pitchers here for Pitches Be Crazy because they are in the top 5 for today. I don't know if I'll be using for DFS purposes, though. Then we move to the Royals at the Cardinals. Michael Wacha facing his former team versus Andre Pallante or Payante. I'm not really sure, so I've not figured it out. We've got Michael Wacha coming in. He's been very frustrating because we've tried to use him multiple times. The one time that I did not use him, he dominated. You got Michael Wacha against his former team, 374 batting average. On the road, he's actually a 394 batting average, so a little bit worse on the road. Game logs, 28.5 against Tampa Bay, one of his former teams, last start. I I think he's with Tampa Bay, right? I think so. And then, he's got some mid performances here, as the kids would say. A couple of good starts here. Not facing St. Louis. I could see that. If we're looking, Nolan Arenado in 7 at-bats, I think he's 6 for 7 or 5 for 7 with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. So Arenado has his number for whatever reason. I would look at him. I would look a little bit. If we don't trust either of these pitchers, you want to look at the bats. I would look at Wilson Contreras. I like him a little bit better against lefties, but I'm okay with this one here. Nolan Arenado is one that I would look at. Mason Wynn batting .314 against right-handed pitching. We also have Alec Burleson batting .315 with 10 bombs against right-handed pitching. Those would be the bats that I'd look at. If you need any more, Brendan Donovan's another one you could look at, or Paul Goldschmidt, depending if you want to stack the Cardinals or not. I don't know if I trust Michael Wacha enough. Now, he could go off, and this is where I'll tell you, I'll admit when we were right or when we're wrong. I don't know if I want Michael Wacha here. And then Palante coming in, or Palante, he's had back-to-back really good games. Doesn't have the best matchup here against Kansas City. Pitching at home, though, and he's been worse at home. Probably looking at Kansas City bats here against him. They've barely seen him. But I would look at Sal Perez. I would look at Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at a cheap option would be Garrett Hampson. No home runs, but he's .281 batting average against righties. I'm okay with him. I'm probably looking at Vinny Pasquantino as well. So I'm probably avoiding both of these pitchers. I give the slight advantage to the Cardinals offense, but I would not be surprised if the Royals offense goes off as well. Then we got the Twins at the White Sox. We've got Bailey Ober versus Eric Fetty-Wap. We've got Bailey Ober here. He's got a great matchup here against a White Sox team that is a very bad team. He's already faced them once this year, but the problem was he did get the W. But he did give up 4 earned runs in that game and only 3 strikeouts. So the strikeouts were low there. That scares me a little bit. But at 8,700, he could go off. I'm okay with him in tournaments. I don't think I trust him enough in cash to feel comfortable saying, let's take him for cash. Flip side of that, Eric Fetty. Do not trust him a ton. .313 batting average, though. He's already faced Minnesota once this year. Only gave up 1 earned run and had 11 strikeouts against them. So, right there, tournament, I'm okay with, because I think a lot of people will be off of him. But we know that Minnesota, they can hit. We know that. It is a fact. No home runs against him against this team. This being played in Chicago, it is the Windy City. That scares me a little bit. The weather should be good, though. So I'm okay with that. Batting-wise, honestly, at the moment, I don't know if I'm going to be taking the bats. I think I'll be taking pitching in both of these. Now, this is where I'll tell you, go check out the simulations. Go check out the Discord, because that's where maybe I come up with different bats that I like in this game later on. Once news, notes, and everything comes out, I'm okay there. But at the moment, I don't really like any of the bats here. That could change when the player projections come out, when the simulations come out. So that is why I tell you, go to the website and check it out. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is the website. And if you're wondering where I'm getting some of this news, where we get our sports bets, where we get it all, that is today's sponsor. So today's sponsor is Outlier.Bet, or if you're on the website, app.outlier.bet. Now, what are they? They're the first sports betting super app. So what they do is they combine a ton of websites, ton of markets into one easy-to-read interface, and you can check it out. You can see what they've got. You can see it all. So we can start betting today. So these are all things from yesterday, from Monday, but they've got insights. So it pulls all the great insights that they have for each and every website. So the websites that they cover: Fanduel, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, Caesars, BetMGM, Prize Picks, and Underdog. I can play all of them, but Prize Picks and Underdog. Looking at that, you can see popular bets. So the Monday popular bets, the Guardians at the Tigers, all bets. So you can add it to your bet slip. It gives you all of the best odds and where they're at. They've got boosts. So certain websites have certain boosts for certain players. They show, if there are boosts there, they will show them right here, depending on what boosts there are. You've got props. So we like to do the strikeout props. So you can check out like, oh, today Player X has the best odds against a team that strikes out the most. Go look at his props right there, and maybe you can tease it up a little bit and go one full strikeout more or two. Go with that. So Outlier.Bet is the official sponsor, and I cannot wait for the NFL season. But it gets better. In the description of this video, you can click a link. In that link, it will be a link for here, right here. You get a 7-day free trial through that. If you guys are interested, a 7-day free trial, and then if you pay $20 for the month for their regular price, we will give you, and you use our link, and we can see that you've used our link, we will give you a free month of FTA Plus for $19.99 for them. That's DFS and sports betting. If you like what you see with them and you want to go with the $130 for the month, you check that out. You get a month of them. We are going to give you a free year of FTA Plus. Now, a year from us is normally $199. So you're going to save $70. Get that for a month. Check it out. If you like it, you can double your money, and you'll get FTA Plus free for a year. So to reiterate, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com has partnered up with Outlier.Bet. You can download it on the App Store. Go click our link in the description down here. Use them. 7-day free trial. If you like what you see, sign up $19.99 for a month. We are going to give you a free month of FTA Plus. If you sign up for the $129.99, we are going to give you our FTA Plus $199 for the year, absolutely free on our end, and you can use both of the services. So that's what I've got. Check it out, Outlier.Bet today. So that being said, and there's a lot of things you can go over. So what I like is this is kind of what we use, but if you want to go through the games, you want to see the games for today, and you want to see the matchup between the Dodgers and the Phillies, and you see this. You see the players you like. So the players, all of their stats for 2024. Then you break it down, all of the stats versus right-handed pitching. And then all of the stats since 2018 against the opposing pitcher right here. Now, what we just talked about right here, 3 different websites. MLB, you got Baseball Savant, you've got ESPN, you've got MLB.com, you've got all these other websites that you pull these stats from. One interface to rule them all. So check it out, Outlier.Bet today. So, that being said, we will move on. Miami at the Astros. Trevor Rogers versus to be announced. Now, this is the problem. The Astros have a ton of injuries, and the hurricane. So I don't know what the weather's going to be like or if it's going to affect these games. So that's definitely something to look at because, again, I don't know where the hurricane is going, but I do know there's a hurricane. A lot of people don't have power right now in Texas. I don't know if that's going to affect this game, so definitely pay attention watching this before you build lineups and stuff like that. But we look at this. Trevor Rogers is down here for a reason at the very bottom, 5,000. He is so expensive or so cheap. You kind of almost have to use him. The thing is, we used him his last start. He only gave up 2 earned runs, but he only lasted 3 innings. He had 6 strikeouts against Boston. They're a team that strikes out the most. Houston doesn't really strike out the most. That's probably me. At 5,000, it allows you to do a lot with your lineup. I'm probably avoiding Rodgers anyway because the Astros can hit. And he's at the bottom. And then we see the Astros. We come in trying to see if they think it's going to be Ronel Blanco. He did pitch last Wednesday, so it would make sense that this is his start there. Did not do well. He's actually had back-to-back games where he really hasn't done well, hasn't gone deeper into games. He's been walking people. Strikeouts are a little bit lower there. Earned runs have been there as well. So, to be honest with you, and this is just me, I'm probably not paying $10,000 for a pitcher for a while. Now, I was wrong Sunday. I said I was skipping Tariq Skubal. He mowed down the competition. Probably, I don't know about Blanco. He's got a great matchup here against Miami. I just don't think I can use him. I don't want to pay $10,000 because he has not hit value for a while. Does he have the chance? Like, we know he can. He threw a no-hitter. Like, we know he can do it. Just, it's been a minute, and his price it's gone up, and I don't think I can trust him enough. Maybe you do, but again, I'm just here to let you know I'm probably not looking at him. But the bats that I'm looking at, which bats make sense to me, which bats jump out to me in this game, you may be asking. So we're going to look at that right now. So Trevor Rogers, I'm not using him. Lefty pitcher, I don't trust him enough. I would rather look at the bats here against him. So the bats that make sense. Jose Altuve, if he's in there, let's see if he's still hurt. Is he day-to-day or he's in there? He's good to go. As of now, he's good to go, I should say. Altuve, batting .333 with 3 bombs against lefties. I would look at him. Jeremy Pena, batting .293, doesn't hit a ton of home runs, but if he can get on base, those are fantasy points there. Jordan, batting .350, which is wild, batting .355 against lefties, being a lefty himself. If he is in there and his knee's not a problem, I'm okay with Jordan as well. And then Mauricio Dubon, if he gets in there, he would be a cheap option in a stack here. And I'm not looking at Miami bats, but I'm just not looking at Ronel Blanco because I just do not trust him enough at his price. Now, he could go off. I completely understand that, but I will not use him. So we'll move to the next game. Pirates at the Brewers. You got to be announced versus Colin Ray. They believe for Pittsburgh that it will be Quinn Priester coming off the IL. There was talk about him being. So this is the thing with the Pirates with Jared Jones being on the IL now. Quinn Priester. There's been talk about him getting called up and taking his spot. But they could also do an opener and just do a bullpen game. That's the problem. So we don't have confirmation of who it's going to be. So if it's not Quinn Priester, I don't know who it is, and I don't really want to dig in. Regardless of who it is for Milwaukee, I would be looking at William Contreras, Rhys Hoskins, Willy Adames, and Christian Yelich would be my 4, regardless of who the pitcher is. But again, we don't know who it is, so I don't want to kind of just go through it and then it be someone completely else. So we'll kind of wait on that. When it is confirmed that everything will be updated, the projections, the simulations, everything will be updated there. So do not worry about that at all. Colin Ray, on the other hand, 3.34 ERA. He's already faced Pittsburgh this year, got the loss in that game, gave up 3 earned runs. I would be looking at McCutchen, O'Neal Cruz, depending on who else is in there. Those would be my top 2. O'Neal Cruz would be number 1 for sure. Cabrian Hayes is another one that I would look at. Nick Gonzalez would be a cheap option if you're trying to get a stack there. He's already got a home run against Colin Ray in his career. Jack Sawinski batting .286 against him with a home run. Brian Reynolds would be another one. So those would be the Pirates bats that I would look at against Colin Ray. I will not have Priester or whoever the bullpen guy is, and I will not have Colin Ray as a pitcher today. Rangers at the Angels is the next game. But before we get into that, the keyword of the day. The keyword of the day is Factor. Now, the Factor meals, they are not a sponsor. It would be awesome if Factor hit me up. It would be awesome if you were a sponsor. But I got this in the mail, and I'm wondering, have any of you used Factor? Have you tried their meals? It's tempting to get it for me since I work from home and just get meals to eat for lunch. I'm kind of interested in that. The shakes sound good and look good. So let me know. Has anyone tried Factor? And if you have, what were your thoughts? That is the keyword, Factor. Let me know. So, that being said, we'll move on. It's Scherzer versus Roansy Contreras. Now, Scherzer, this will be his... Is it 4th start? Yeah, it'll be his 4th start. Kind of down. Didn't use him versus Baltimore. Didn't use him against San Diego. The walks have been low, but the strikeouts have also been low. He's just up there. He probably should and will retire soon. He obviously got his 2nd World Series ring, so he already has 2 rings. Does have a 2.70 ERA, but the fantasy points have not been there except for the 1 start. Does have a great matchup here against the Angels, though. He has been able to hold them in 38 plate appearances, striking out almost 50% of those batters. But the problem is the strikeouts have not been there this year. I'm a little bit scared to use that. But if you want to look at this, I don't mind him. Maybe tournament only, which is wild to say because it is Scherzer. But he might be a tournament only pick from here on out. Just, I don't trust him enough. And then we've got Roansy Contreras. 4.04 ERA going up against Texas. So pitching at home, he does have a 3.04 ERA, but He's only started one game at home. He's not going deep into games. We did not use him against Oakland. 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. He's not going to go deep in the game. So you're not using him. It's going to be a bullpen day, or there's going to be a long relief player here, and I do not trust that. I would rather take Texas bats. Now, again, we don't know who the bullpen, we don't know how many people are going to come in. We don't know how many innings are going to come in. Scherzer for tournaments, Contreras, not at all. Texas bats that I would use, Jonah Heim, Nate Lowe, Wyatt Langford. I'm probably using Corey Seager for sure. A 5th one, depending on where we're going, maybe Marcus Semien or Josh Smith if he gets in there. Angels bats against Scherzer. Just kind of look. Logan O'Hoppy's batting .299 with 9 bombs against lefties, or against right-handed pitching. So he could be an option if you don't trust Scherzer. Willie Calhoun batting .278 with 2 home runs. I don't mind him. Nolan Schanuel, .255 batting average with 7 home runs as well. So we look at that, and that's kind of where I'm at. Scherzer for tournaments, but I do not mind if you guys decide you want to go a little bit of an Angel stack here to go very contrarian, especially if you're playing like a late slate here. Then we got the Mariners at the Padres. We got Logan Gilbert versus Adam Mazur, however you say it. So let's look at him. He does have a fantastic matchup. He's got the best matchup of all pitching because Seattle strikes out so much. But he comes in with a 7.52 ERA. He has not faced Seattle this year. 15 strikeouts. He's not striking out a ton of people. The strikeouts have been low here, as you can see. 4.03, 4.2. Tournaments, because he could strike out them, I'm okay. DFS, I'm not using him. Do not trust him enough. Or if you want to go, if you make like multiple, like I'm saying 20 plus lineups, and you want to put him in there because he's so cheap, he allows you to do some stacks, I get that. But the strikeouts have been low, and he really has not done much. But he has not been this cheap ever. So he's the cheapest he's ever been. But Seattle can hit. So that's the problem. They strike out a ton, but they also put up a ton of runs and hit. So it's very weird for them as a team, but I definitely see that happening here. So we look at that. Kind of dig in a little bit. Logan Gilbert, second highest priced pitcher. I would rather pay for him than I would Blanco. So we look at Gilbert here. Splits-wise, he has not faced San Diego this year. This is a pitcher's park. Comes in with a 2.91 ERA, so a sub-3 ERA. On the road, he's got a better ERA on the road. I love me some Logan Gilbert today. Problem is, the past couple of games, Baltimore and Minnesota, he really hasn't done well, but those are very good hitting teams. So I am okay with Logan Gilbert in cash or tournaments. Adam Mazur, probably tournaments only, just because he's not been very good, and maybe I only use him for pitches be crazy. So bats-wise, if we think both of these teams are not going to do well, Cal Raleigh, big dumper, I'm looking at Cal Raleigh here. I would look at Josh Rojas. I would look at Mitch Haniger. I maybe look at Luke Raley here, and that's probably it for the Mariners. Padres, if you think Logan Gilbert's not going to do well, Luis Arraez against anyone, obviously we use him. Jackson Merrill would be another one. Jake Cronenworth would be another one. Maybe, yeah, I probably would go with Manny Machado as well. So those would be the stacks if you want to go against the grain, because a lot of people are going to be on Logan Gilbert. And you can check them out under the MLB tab. Under our cheat sheet, we actually have projected ownership rankings, and that is usually put out in the afternoon. And you can see what the projected rankings are and what you think the ownership's going to be. And if it looks like Logan Gilbert's going to be highly owned, pivot and go with San Diego because not very many people will be on them. Then we got the Braves at the Diamondbacks, Charlie Morton versus Zach Gallen. Morton, he's old. He's just old. I have nothing else to say. Comes in, 8,400. Basically a 4 ERA. Has not faced Arizona this year. Nothing against San Francisco. Really good game against Pittsburgh. Not good against the Yankees. Good game against Tampa Bay. Not good against Washington. So if he follows that pattern, this in theory should be a good game. But he's got a high ERA. I don't trust him enough, at least in cash. Tournaments, I'm okay with Charlie Morton. We look at those. Then we see Arizona bats against Morton in their career. Christian Walker has been absolutely murdering teams. He's got a home run against him. Randall Grichuk has a home run against him. Ketel Marte has a home run against him. Corbin Carroll has been a little bit lower. Corbin Carroll is batting .210 this year with only 3 bombs. 2 of those have come against right-handed pitching. So I do not mind Jock Peterson either. .291 batting average this year against right-handed pitching with 12 bombs. So I do not mind an Arizona stack. But the Atlanta Braves against Gallen. Is this Gallen's third start since coming back? Yeah, this would be his third start since coming back. Did not do well against the Dodgers. Only lasted 4 innings. Gave up 85 pitches, 3 earned runs. So not good. Not the best matchup for him against Atlanta. We see him pitching at home. He's got a better ERA at home. So I don't mind Gallen, but we know that the Braves are a fantastic team. There are 4 players that have home runs against him. Albies batting .364 with a bomb against him. Austin Riley's batting .400 with a bomb against him. Matt Olson has a home run, batting only .167 against him. And then Orlando Arcia batting .200 with 1 home run against him. I don't mind Sean Murphy. So if we're looking at a Brave stack and you don't want to go Gallen, Sean Murphy I'm okay with. I would look at Austin Riley. I would look at Jared Kelenic as well. Those would be my 3. Depending on the lineup comes out, that's where we can decide if there are certain players that we want. So that's kind of my thought in this game right now. Morton, I'm probably not using pitching here. I'm probably using the bats on both sides. Give the Braves just a little bit better odds here, but it's very close between those 2 teams. Then the final game, Battle of the Lefties here. You got Blue Jays at the Giants. Yusei Kikuchi versus Blake Snell. Now, Kikuchi has been lit up previous starts here. We look at him. They still got him at 8,200. Back-to-back games of 14 fantasy points. Gave up only 2 earned runs there, but his last 4 games, he's given up 15 earned runs, but he has been striking teams out. But San Francisco can hit lefties. So that's kind of my thought here. I don't trust Kikuchi enough. Now, Blake Snell scares me a little bit. Coming off the IL, we know that he's got an inflated 9.51 ERA. He had a really good last start here against, AAA, I should say. So it's been a minute since he's pitched, since June 2nd. So over a month against the Yankees. Only gave up 3 earned runs there, but did leave the game hurt, I believe, and ended up losing that game 7-5. Scares me a little bit because Toronto should be able to hit lefties. Against Snell, George Springer has a home run, and that's the only one. But against left-handed pitching this year, Danny Jansen batting .250, Ernie Clement batting .302, Spencer Horwitz batting .364, Vladdy batting .283. It just depends on if Snell got... I'm probably not going to use Snell because I don't trust him. I'm not going to use Kikuchi either. I'd rather look at the bats. So those are the bats that I would use for Toronto. San Francisco bats against Kikuchi. Jorge Soler batting .375 with 2 bombs against him in 8 at-bats. Matt Chapman has 2 home runs against him, batting .313 and 16 at-bats as well. So those are my top 2 because they are lefty smashers. But then you got Patrick Bailey batting .289. I do not mind him. Matt Chapman's my number 1 probably. Lamont Wade Jr. against lefties, 400 batting average. Brett Wisely in 20. I don't know if he'll play, but in 27 at-bats this year, batting .407. And then Michael Conforto, 54 at-bats, .296 batting average, 3 home runs. And then Elliot Ramos. There's a ton. This feels like one of those where I love his San Francisco stack tonight, but you might want to make multiple ones. Because Elliot Ramos, .404 batting average with 5 bombs in 52 at-bats against left-handed pitching. Here going against Kikuchi, I do not mind that at all. So I love me a San Francisco stack. Might make multiple different ones. And there you have it. That is the breakdown of every single game, every pitcher, every batter, brick by brick, as they say. Now, we're going to do Pitches Be Crazy real quick. So these are all of the pitchers that have the best matchups for pitching. So number 1, Adam Mazur against Seattle. Seattle strikes out 10.33 times per game. And at home, or on the road, they struck out 10.11 times. This is a pitcher's park. Depending on what the weather is doing, I do not mind him for Pitches Be Crazy. Doesn't mean I'm going to use all of these pitchers. These are just the ones that have the best matchups for strikeouts per the opposing team. Number 2 is Brayan Bello versus Oakland. Oakland strikes out 9.64 times per game. And looking at this on the road, they actually are worse, striking out 10.36 times per game. Number 3 is Joey Estes versus Boston. They strike out 9.6 times per game. At home, they strike out 9.23. So that is a third one. I'm not using Estes for tournaments, or for DFS, but I don't mind him in this here. Number 4, Frankie Montas versus Colorado. Colorado striking out 9.43 times per game. On the road, Colorado striking out 9.96 times per game. And the 5th one for pitches be crazy, Colin Ray versus Pittsburgh. Again, not using him for DFS, but Pittsburgh strikes out 9.4 times per game. And at home, they're striking out 8.67 times per game. So those are your top 5 pitches be crazy. Can change a little bit. There are different options that we'll see. This is only for FanDuel because they do have that tournament that you can play over there. So that being said, we are going to look at the top 10 bats after 10,000 simulations. Get a paper pen, whatever you need. Let's go. Number 1, Jarren Duran versus Joey Estes. 2 is Elly De La Cruz. 3 is Shohei Ohtani. 4 is Jose Ramirez. 5 is Brent Rooker. 6 is JJ Bleday. 7 is Candelario. 8, Spencer Steer. 9, Bryson Stott. And number 10 is Tyler Stevenson. Now, if you want to see every batter that is current, that'll be under the MLB tab, under the simulation models. We have 10,000 we do here, and we do the total of 20,000 a couple of hours before first pitch of the day of the slate. So definitely go check that out. And now, every batter that has a 10 out of 10 matchup rating, some days we've had 31. I think yesterday we had like 3. We don't have very many today, but number 1, Jose Ramirez. Number 2 is Brent Rooker. 3 is JJ Bleday. 4 is Tyler Stevenson. 5, Marcus Semien. 6, Juan Soto. 7, Gabriel Moreno. 8, Josh Naylor. 9, Andres Jimenez. And number 10 is Michael Massey versus Andre Palante, if Massey even gets in there. So these will be updated throughout the day. We've got projected DK and DraftKings and FanDuel fantasy points there for DFS. You can use these for sports betting. You can use everything. So use all of our information here under the MLB tab. We've got sports betting as well. Use that with Outlier.Bet and make your bacon. So that's what I've got in this video. Hopefully you guys found it useful and helpful. Good luck today. I know it's a longer video, 53 minutes long, but I wanted to give you guys an all-inclusive look into what goes into my mind, onto the website, and out to you guys. So good luck today. As always, bring home that bacon. Peace!